Hey guys, I patiently waited for 5 items to come in, so it's time for another mailbag. And let's start with the biggest one this time. Integrated circuits says on here. It's kind of big for integrated circuits, don't you think? Oh yes. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Let me show you what that is. And what this is a kit, and not just any kit. This is a kit that some YouTubers have gotten before, probably seen them, but this is a line following robot kit. So it's got, oh wow, it's got these worm gears. So I've got the type, so you build all of these on top of this PCB. That's the deal. PCB is the frame. Then you've got motors and stuff, and wheels. There's the wheels there. And I bought this one because I think this is the newer version. The old one kind of had these wheels with transmission that you stuck on there. But these new ones, the motor goes through like this. And then you have a gear here somewhere. And then you have that worm gear. Anyways, it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun to build. It even comes with a mat. There we go, with the racetrack. And this robot should be able to propel itself around this track. That's really cool. But it's not the only thing in the package. It did get one more thing from the same seller. And the other piece that came in here is this PCB here. It's another kit. I'll try just to get the PCB out. There's some green LEDs. And there's a heart shape. So I believe this one is a pulsing heart LED thing. So it's pretty nice. It's got 5mm green LEDs, at least it says green. And so this here was $1.88 Canadian from AliExpress. And this here was $4.80 Canadian from AliExpress. So all in all, I think it's a pretty good value, especially for this, because you get a couple of shafts, some mounting brackets, wheels, gears, battery box, PCB, 2 motors, a bunch of LEDs. I think it uses an op amp to figure out which way to go. This is a pretty complex kit for $5. This is pretty good, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to put together and a lot of fun to play with. Sweet. Let's go on to the next one. Next up is this one, and the description is plastic patch. I really don't know what I ordered that could be described as a plastic patch, but let's figure it out. Okay, these are not patches at all. These are ICs, so let's take a look at these. So what these ICs are the CD4017 decade counters. I've seen Julian Eilert play with these before, and I kind of wanted to have a play too. I can't really explain to you how they work because I have ordered this, 2-3 months ago before they showed up. So I'm not really sure what my intention was with these, but stay tuned for a future video with a project using these, or at least learning how to use these. So if you're interested in learning with me, then order some up and look up for that video. These were $1.50 for 20, so they're very cheap, and I figure worth playing with. Alright, let's go on. Next up is this unusual brown package. Usually they're white or yellow, so don't know what's going on here. This says adapter, so really it could mean anything. Oh shit, I just cut right on top of it. That's why you should always check. Okay, I don't think I damaged these though. Let's take a closer look. So what these are micro switches. So these are tiny little switches that you'll sometimes find in mice, like computer mice. And these are also usually end stops for 3D printers. They can be used for a multitude of things, but it's just basically a momentary switch. I got these because I don't really have any momentary switches, and these happen to fit the breadboard standard layout. So here we go. You see these 3 pins underneath there. It should fit nicely in there. Mind you, that wouldn't work like that. You would have to put it like this way. Let's see if I can fit that in there. And there we go. Fits nice and tight. And you can hear that probably clicking away. So these are great to have around. These were a bit pricey though. I bought 20. I always buy extras because you never know when you're going to need them. And so these were 20. They were $3 Canadian for 20. So a little bit on the expensive side, but for what you get, it's not too bad. These are great because it takes very little force to click them down, and they have a lot of repetitious use. In fact, I might build a device to test one of these to destruction, see if we can count how many times this gets clicked before the switch fails. Pretty neat, but nothing much to see here. Next up is this regular colored package now. This one is white, so the white and the gray are kind of normal. I guess yellow too, but the brown was a little weird. Okay, this one says expansion board module. Not quite sure what that is. Sometimes you forget what you ordered. Okay, so this is another kit. Let's take a closer look at that. So what this is a metal detector kit. And that should be fairly obvious once you see what this PCB looks like. If you can see there, there's a series of traces going around like this. And so these traces, if you send a pulse through them, and a metal object gets in the way of that pulse, of the magnetic field created by this, it'll actually either increase or decrease the current through here and tell you if there's metal nearby. Now these don't actually work all that well, but for $1.50 Canadian, I figured I'd give it a shot for myself and see what goes on. Plus, it's another good way to accumulate components and kind of understand how separate circuits work. And since you know, I like learning, this is a great opportunity to learn. So yeah, another kit coming your way. And the last one for today is this one, and it says voltage tester. I think I only ordered one voltage tester, so I should know exactly what this is. And it is in fact a, yep, voltage tester. Let's take a closer look. So how this thing works is it's a USB device with an LCD display. I'm not sure if it's going to work as intended. This will be the first time I plug it in, but what's going to happen is I have a power bank here, which is almost dead. I'm going to plug it into my tablet off screen. Then I'm going to plug this into the charger doctor, like so. And then if I put this in here, it should boot up. I don't know if you can see that. So 5 volts, it's telling us there's 5 volts given off by the battery pack, and it's charging my tablet at 77 or 770 milliamps, so under an amp. There you go, 77. So there we go. It gives you voltage and amps going through, so current and pressure going through the cable. This is good to test out to see if your power bank is putting out enough current. It's good to check your cables. I'm a bit dubious of this though, because there is going to be some contact resistance added, and also I'm not sure how to calibrate this, but either way, these are things we can visit in their own video when we go test this out. This was only $2 Canadian, so it was worth picking up, and I might get a couple of them just to see the difference between them. Some of them can get kind of pricey. And all of these electronics related items make up today's post bag. Mailbag? I forget what I call this series. Either way though, thanks for watching.